You've been told all your life to play it safe, to pace yourself, to know your limits. But what if that advice, the kind meant to protect you, is actually the thing holding you back? What if the real tragedy isn't going too far? It's never finding out how far you could have gone. See, there's a hidden truth about greatness. It doesn't live in moderation. It lives in obsession, in the places where you push beyond reason, beyond comfort and beyond approval. T.S. Eliot once said, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." This episode is powered by the Strong Coffee Company. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at checkout. The philosophy we're diving into today is to go too far instead of not far enough. Because while most people fear the consequences of overdoing it, the real danger is underdoing it and never becoming who you were meant to be. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. Halfway up there's a ledge, flat, safe, with a decent view. Most people climb to that ledge, take a selfie, and then tell themselves they've reached the top. But if you were born with a spark inside you, that restless energy that whispers, "There's more," then you know you can't stop there. Not far enough looks like success from the outside, but it feels like suffocation from the inside. The truth is, no one ever changed their life by stopping when they got uncomfortable. Progress lives in discomfort. Transformation lives in pain. And the people who go too far, they're the ones who find new peaks the rest never see. Let's break this down. Your brain is built for efficiency. It conserves energy, avoids pain, and seeks safety. But those same instincts are what keep you average. To go too far is to deliberately override that ancient programming. It's to lean into the voice that says stop and whisper back, "Not yet." From a neuroscience perspective, this is where neuroplasticity ignites. Your brain literally rewires when you operate outside the boundaries of comfort. When you do the extra rep, send the extra email, practice the skill after everyone else goes home, you teach your nervous system that you are capable of more than it believes. And here's the paradox. You won't know your limit until you exceed it. You can't measure your endurance, creativity, or strength by standing still. You have to break through the barrier, and sometimes that means you'll go too far. But it's in that moment, when everything inside you burns, that your potential introduces itself. Speaking of pushing limits, when you go too far, recovery matters. More Labs created science-backed drinks to help with recovery and resilience. Use code Vancrux1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. Here's the truth. Not going far enough might feel safe in the moment, but the cost is invisible for the most part. You lose potential, you lose edge, you lose momentum. Going too far carries risk, exhaustion, rejection, failure. But all of those can be recovered from. What you can't recover from is the quiet ache of wondering what might have been. The only reward for not going far enough is temporary comfort. But the reward for going too far is transcendence. In fitness, that looks like pushing yourself past the final rep when your muscles scream for mercy. In creativity, it's writing one more paragraph, painting through the night, or filming the extra take that becomes the masterpiece. In your career, it's sending the bold pitch no one else dares to make. You see, there's a raw energy in overextension. It's life saying, "You've got more in you, so prove it." When you commit to going too far, you embody what warriors, artists, and high performers have always known. Restraint is death to greatness. Musashi once said, the undefeated samurai, "If you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. And control begins when you test yourself, brutally, repeatedly. The warrior doesn't wait for the perfect moment, he acts. He doesn't count energy, he burns it. He doesn't worry about too far, because for him, too far is the standard. To go too far is to prove to the universe that you're serious. It's to declare, I'm willing to risk it all for something worth it. That's what separates those who live fully from those who live safely. Now let's ground this into real life. We've talked kind of about this, but it's a different way of thinking about it. In fitness, go until your form almost breaks, not recklessly but fully. Feel your body cross its own boundary. That's where growth lives. In the business or career, stop asking what's the minimum to get by, and start asking what's the maximum I can give before I can't do anymore, I collapse. In relationships, say what you feel before it's too late. Risk embarrassment, risk vulnerability, love hard enough that it terrifies you. In creativity, don't play it safe. Make something so bold that people either love it or hate it, but never ignore it. It's better to risk too much than regret too little. Because those who go too far create impact. Those who stop early vanish quietly. Now there's something deeper. Why do most people not go far enough? Because they're terrified of being too much, too intense, too ambitious, too emotional, too driven. But too much is exactly what makes you memorable. The world remembers those who overflowed their boundaries, the people who were told they were excessive and decided that was their superpower. There's nothing noble in moderation when your purpose is calling. You weren't designed to balance, you were designed to burn. Go past the door, don't just go to it. Picture this, you're standing on a wooden bridge over a canyon. Behind you is safety, the known. Ahead is fog, the unknown. You could turn back, rebuild, stay safe. Or you could cross and burn the bridge. When you burn the bridge, something awakens. Total commitment. No retreat, no hesitation, no surrender, only forward. That's what going far or going too far means. No safety net, no excuses, no soft landings. Because when you remove the option to quit, all that remains is victory. Life's great irony is this. If you play small to avoid pain, you create a deeper pain. The pain of never becoming who you could have been. So don't just go far enough to look brave. Go too far to become brave. Push until you shock yourself. Risk until you feel alive. Give until there's nothing left. Then watch what grows in the silence that follows. When your story is told, make sure no one says, he could have gone further. Because the greatest sin isn't failure. It's stopping short. Our final sponsor is Liquor Gummies. Combine nootropics and adaptogens for calm, creativity and sustained energy. Use code Vancrux1 for 25% off at liquor.com.